morning, everyone.
Good morning. We are back on the road.
Yeah.
We're heading south on 81 currently. We are making our way toward Front Royal, Virginia.
Yeah.
And of course there's got to be trees in front of us, otherwise I would have the camera turn around. But for anyone who lives in a flat part of the country, so that's a lot of the East Coast, literally on the coast, who's never really made their way out toward the mountains, it's quite a sight to turn around a corner and then straight ahead of you just see these large mountains looming on the horizon, blocking out part of the sky where we're used to just seeing trees and clouds, but there's large mountains in front of you. So we're heading out that way. Our plan is to maybe do a little exploration of the little town of Front Royal, as well as get up into Shenandoah National Park and drive a little on Skyline Drive. So we're going to continue down. We'll be there in about 20 minutes. So through the magic of editing, we'll see you there.
Yeah.
Well, we've arrived, and the first thing we see is in the parking lot here. It's this old caboose, Front Royal Train Company. I can't find any information about it, but if any of you guys know anything or where we can find information, just leave some in the comments down below. But there's a marker here dedicated to Peter Lehue, founder of Lehue Town, which was then incorporated to Front Royal in 1788. And this was erected by his descendants in 1988. So I guess on their 200th year of incorporation as a town in Virginia.
Yeah.
So that's pretty neat. We're going to head out over to Main Street and see what we can find while we're here in town. Just a view of Main Street with this nice gazebo. Where are you going?
I was framed.
Clearly. Hey everybody, so we are now in the on Skyline Drive in Shenandoah National Park, and we are at the first overlook looking out over the Shenandoah Valley.
Yes.
So there it is. And what we're looking at over here is actually still the town of Front Royal, with the main part being up that way, kind of off to the north, and this the outside of the of town. Somewhere in the distance, maybe midway, is the South Fork of the Shenandoah River. And so what you're looking at is the actual valley in the Shenandoah Mountains, going up for the other mountains over there. So.
And we're not even at the highest part yet.
No, not even close.
No.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch away from the selfie camera, and we're going to give a much more in-depth view for you right now. Here we go. Quite a spectacular view. And we did walk around Front Royal briefly, and we'll be back a little later on. We just wanted to get up here while the lighting was good, while the weather's okay. It is quite humid. You can see a lot of cloud cover here, so we wanted to make sure we're up here to have a nice view, because otherwise everything's soaked in clouds and, well, you can see nothing. So, and it smells wonderful here because there's an entire grove of honeysuckles right in front of us. I'm going to give you a zoomed in view down there. Look at that, that's cool. There's some cabins. There they are. They're really nice looking. Wonder what that is.
It's amazing what zoom will do.
Oh yeah, it's good zoom on this as well. For anyone curious, this is on the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus. Yes, that's what this is, just a cell phone. Skyline Caverns is down there as well, somewhere I think down in that direction. Not that I'm pointing quite specifically, but general that way.
It's that way.
It's somewhere down there. Well, we've got a lot more climbing to do. And by climbing, I mean, you know, with the truck. So we're going to get back in, and we're going to go higher up the ridge here and see what other views we can present to you. Just a little tip, make sure you have things for the day if you're going to come up here. You want to have some water. If you're planning to hike, make sure you're prepared for that. All the various hiking things you'll need, including bug spray. Bear spray is probably a good thing if you're out of your vehicle for any length of time. There's a lot of wildlife here. Bears are common. Don't feed the animals. Make sure you have water, food, carry in, carry out, leave no trace. Be kind to the environment and enjoy what you see.
This PSA brought to you by a guy, a girl, and a vlog.
More of the valley as we're driving up. You can actually see the river winding through, like we were saying before. That is the South Fork of the Shenandoah, but quite a spectacular view. We can't stop here because this is going way around a curve. This is how you climb the mountains, going around and around. And there was a sign that says watch for falling rocks. Let's see if we can get a view up to the left here. Now, of course, it's all trees for the second, I say to look, but now you can see some of the outcropping. Now, very interesting, actually, the history of the park. This is something that I had seen on some History Channel information. And this was, a majority of the park was actually constructed. You can see these stone walls. In the early part of the 1900s, around the 20s into 30s, part of the New Deal, the CCC, it was the Civilian Conservation Corps, I think I want to say that is. And it was part of putting people back to work, and also the farmers who had to deal with failed crops in the midst of the Depression of the Shenandoah Valley were hired by the government to come up here and dig and do roads and make the park basically most of what it is today. And actually, we're going to pull over here to a visitor center. I believe, if I recall correctly from the last time we were here, there's some information about that, but it's been called a shining example of what was done in the 30s.
Just to give you a little overview. Inside. To give you a little bit of information about the mountains and Skyline Drive and the range and the history. Something else I like about Skyline Drive and Shenandoah National Park is that they're big on conservation. And if anyone knows me, I'm all about the conservation.
That's one of those things someone has to come and tell you when they see you. I see you, Bear, looking for me.
This is all very cool. So in case you're driving down Skyline, you don't see any actual animals, you can come in here and see these ones that aren't real.
We pulled over here at Compton Overlook because we literally drove into a cloud that's coming up the side of the mountain. It's pea soup down there, and it just keeps coming up over the roadway. I don't know if you could see that. It looks like someone's got a fog machine going. And it's also condensing a little on the wall over there, so it's dripping. But coming back this way, You can really see it moving across the trees. I mean, you can literally, it's not even just reach out and touch it. I could roll down the window and it'll come in the vehicle. There's a girl out here who I'm not going to film because I don't know her. She is literally just putting her arms out into the fog, and it's really neat. Guys, so we're still on this side of the mountain here. I'm not sure which side we're actually on because this is a very curvy road, but we're about to drive through more of the fog, which in reality is just cloud coming up the side of the mountain, and it's variable. It's hard to tell exactly when it's going to just kind of like waft over. You can see big gaps in it. I don't know how well this is defined on the video. I'm going really slow right now, but there's like a big plume of it about to wash over the road right here, and it's getting stuck up in the trees there. So the trees are kind of protecting the road a little, but every little gap in the trees, there's like a protrusion of fog coming up over. It's really neat.
Good word.
Protrusion?
Protrusion. That's your vocab word of the day.
I really liked plume.
That one too.
Plume.
You get a twofer. It's a two for Tuesday.
It is. So basically, we're looking out my driver's side window right now, and it's through the trees, pea soup. Literally, you can't see past just this line of trees right here, which is insane because there was an overlook just a moment ago, and my phone's making noise. Basically, you could kind of see under that plume of fog and see the valley below, and literally just above it you could just see that whole tide of cloud coming up and over. It's really quite an experience. Well, here we are at the Gimlet Overlook, which is at 2875, so it's 2,875 feet above sea level. And it's really neat because remember we're showing you all the clouds. Well, those are the clouds we're in coming up and over the ridge. And there they go, descending then into the valley behind us. And there's actually more that we're going to be driving into on the other side. But we have a nice view down into the valley.
Look at this relic. No cell phone signal out here, but you have a payphone.
So here we are at another scenic overlook. Jeremy's Run, I think it was called, right? Mm-hmm. And so very, very scenic. But just before we got here, we had a little food at one of the rest stops. I forget what it's called.
Yeah, the one before this overlook.
Right, I'll put it right here when we edit the video.
Maybe.
Which, by the way, is important because you can actually get food there. You can buy souvenirs. There's bathrooms, yes, drinks. So you know it's run by a concession company approved by the National Park Service, but not the national parks themselves. So right, that's important information, I guess. But anyway, so just leaving there, we're coming up, and I see something black right on the side of the road, and I'm like, okay, what is that? That looked like, I don't know, it looked fuzzy. I didn't know what it was. It was small. So I stop as I get closer, and it's a bear cub.
It's a bear!
It was a bear cub. It was about, I want to say maybe 4 foot, maybe, like if we come down to the road here, it looked like when it was standing up, it was maybe this tall, like knee height for me, and was probably, if it was on all fours, a little more than shoulder width for me, I think.
Hold on, we gotta focus again. Can I see? Hello? Oh, there we are!
Hey! So it's, yeah, now they say that, like I said earlier in the video, there are lots of bears in this forest on the mountain.
Yeah.
And they are not uncommon, but this is the first time we ever saw one. And where there's a bear cub, there's a mama bear. We didn't stick around.
No, but it was really cool to see, though.
Yeah, first time we've ever seen a wild bear.
Yeah.
So we're going to keep our eyes peeled. If we can get a photo safely, we will do that so we can share that with you. It even better would be video, but because it was just a bear cub, I didn't see mama bear. I wasn't going to stick around and try and tempt anything. So,
right.
But we're going to get back in and keep
going.
on rolling. So we decided to come out of the park, you know, somewhere around just north of Midway, and we are heading toward the town of Luray. You know, we just wanted to show you kind of what it looks like out here. Zipline canopy tours over there. It's interesting, but it's really sparse. I don't know.
It's a yogi.
It is a yogi.
Boo-boo.
Jellystone Park Camp Resorts. There's a lot of camp resorts, which is like, you know, cabins, or you bring your trailer or something. There's a lot of farms, as you see here. There's a lot of dilapidated looking antique stores, many of which are no longer functioning. And there's a lot of like old houses, trailer homes, very, very sparse in terms of what you may be used to in more populated regions. So it's very interesting coming down into this area, you know, and really seeing the whole valley. Still a very, very rural, rooted area. So we stopped at a place.
We did.
Yeah. Cooters.
Cooters. For those of you that live under a rock, Cooter is from Dukes of Hazzard.
That's right.
Yes.
And
Very popular show.
right here, we got General Lee, Sheriff.
Daisy's Diner.
Yeah. Hazzard County Garage.
Yep. Now this is an eatery as well as a museum.
Mm-hmm.
We're not sure if we could film inside, but
We'll see what we can do.
we're gonna go in.
Here we are inside the museum. A little look around. All sorts of memorabilia. Yeah, wrestling trunks from a Hazzard event.
The rumor has it from time to time he likes to just pop in.
And here's proof. Oh, this is a police-style jacket that the cast made and gave to the whole crew, and this one belonged to Cooter. Dukes of Hazzard Cornhole.
I'm not very good at this. Look at the other one. Does that count?
Sure,
That counts.
that counts.
Lots of memorabilia. Look at these guys. These are neat. Signed memorabilia. Here's Cooter Davenport's boots and good pair of white socks. Oh, breaker 19. Autograph scripts. Spend some family time watching Dukes of Hazzard. Ooh, just cool over here. Let's see. Sheriff Roscoe. Press pennies. Just so you know, the tow truck does not work. Quite a collection. Memorabilia. Old school soda pop machine. There's a tractor set up like the General Lee. Scale model of the boar's nest. And through here, entering Cooter's garage. Oh, and it was recently redone, 2017. Here we are on May 29th of 2018, by the way. Imagine cruising around in this thing. You can look and linger. Just remember, don't touch. Pair of bow horns right on the front. Boss. Hazzard County. Found your Jeep, Des.
Yep. Grab that, please.
Look at the old refrigerator. old school thing. Jukebox. Old school jukebox. They serve food and ice cream.
So they even have a cow up front. That's so cool. Oh, and we got milkshakes.
So we're back out front of the museum and restaurant. There's a good view behind me. And you've seen, you know, the replica cars. I assume that they're replica from the series. There's a little bit more. There's a Des hiding behind me. There's, looking up, very large monster truck. Now look at Des compared to this tire here. Myself. All the way up there. How do you get in there? You think you have to climb?
Springs.
You just
Put
jump.
springs on your feet and jump.
Pogo sticks?
Hope for the best.
I think it's pogo sticks.
Yeah. Just to give you an idea, I'm 5'2.5". Don't forget that half, it's very important. And I'm standing next to that tire that's like as tall, if not taller than me.
You can walk clean under that with no problem.
I could.
It's very nice out here. Mountains all the way in the back there. Wow. Well, we got us some milkshakes.
Yep. So there are apparently 3 different Cooters.
That's right. One here in Luray / Sperryville.
Gatlinburg, Tennessee.
Another destination for a future trip at some point.
And then Nashville, Tennessee.
That's right. So,
Also, and at least at this location, the museum that we showed you all in, I don't know if you said or not, but it's free.
it is free.
It's free. But these cost money.
Food costs money. So do souvenirs.
So do souvenirs. We got
Oh.
those too.
Of which we have several.
Yes.
Tell me, Legolas, what do your elf eyes see? Might be some cows out there or something. I don't know.
There's a deer in there.
They use the paths the same as people do. Not stupid, it's easier.
Right. He's just standing there. Hi, deer. Hi, deer.
Looks drunk.
Maybe he is.
Got it?
Yeah. Bye, deer.
Well, coming back through Skyline Drive, coming back away from Luray, all the weather seems to have cleared up. The fog is all gone, and you can see for miles and miles and miles. If you don't believe that, you're in Shenandoah National Park. Anyway, cleared up quite well, and you'd be hard pressed to find more spectacular views than this.
Yeah.
Pretty much anywhere. So we're here at the Virginia Beer Museum in Front Royal, Virginia. Which discusses the history and importance of beer. Here we see a recipe for small beer, George Washington. This is to read later. So we're going upstairs. There's a big quilt. Steins. Well, these aren't actually steins. Now these are cool. Oh, we're in the Prohibition era.
The Anti-Saloon League and their allies had only 84 months to convince more than 5,000 legislators in 36 states to ratify. They would do it in less than 13.
Great wall of cans. Look at the oil can up there.
Something that's really interesting about the old cans
Yep.
is the tabs that they had on, the pull tabs.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, in the basement of my grandparents' house, my uncle had his bedroom down there. And instead of having a curtain to close his bedroom, he had made a curtain out of the pull tabs.
These things over there, right?
These, yes. These. They were made into a curtain. And I thought it was the coolest thing.
Wow. It's yeah, it's interesting. We don't see that anymore. And then after Prohibition, we get the adjunct lagers, the bland beers. Ooh. And here we step into the craft beer revolution, or renaissance. Look at all the craft breweries that are open in Virginia now. This is just Virginia, folks. I've had several of them. Ale Works up there, Alsatian. There's a brewery right here in town that is looking to open by next month. That is the Front Row Brewing Company. Well, guys, we're wrapping up our last full day here. We're back from Front Royal and Skyline Drive in Shenandoah National Park. We're back in Old Town Winchester. We just had a wonderful meal at the Union Jack Pub with some traditional British style fare. It was very tasty.
It was very good.
They've got quite the selection of brews as well. Kind of tired, just had some soda myself.
Me too.
But
And a very nice ginger beer.
so highly recommend that, and we are going to wrap up our adventure tomorrow,
Yes.
and we'll see where that brings us. But for today, we're done. If you like what you see, make sure you click like, subscribe, and hit the notification icon above, and leave us any comments on any additional information you find that you want to share, any experiences, any questions. Just
Or
make
if
sure
you just want to say hi.
Yeah.
Hi.
We like hi. Hi is good. So make sure you leave that in the comments below, and we will see you on our next adventure.